Xbox Game Pass, we're going to be breaking down the entire library of games. Be sure to like the video, subscribing is great as well, as yes, this is a ton of work to do. And if you are getting Xbox Game Pass, consider using the affiliate link in the video description. It takes you to the Xbox website, and it helps support the work I do. And we do this every couple months where we take a look at the entire library of games. So let's jump in. Alan Wake's American Nightmare is a really good little smaller continuation of Alan Wake. You can play it basically as a standalone, and it's a lot of fun. If you played Alan Wake and you haven't played this one, highly recommend. Alice Madness Returns is a very creepy, dark 3D platformer where, it takes the Alice concept in Wonderland and goes a little mad. Both games are included, so you get the full edition within this particular title. Alien Isolation, FPS boosted. This is a horror title where stealth is a focus because aliens and cyborgs are trying to kill you. Get a little bit more action-packed in Aliens Fireteam Elite. Go and shoot some things. It's co-op focused. It's a fun little blast thing. It's not too serious, but it's pretty enjoyable. The Anacrusis. This is like Left 4 Dead, but on a cruise ship with aliens. And yeah, that's not too bad. It's still in development because it's game preview, but might be worth checking out. Among Us, party action game where you're trying to find out who is sus. We've got Ark Ultimate Survivor Edition, lots of DLC, open world, multiplayer focused survival game with dinosaurs and other monsters. As Dusk Falls recently released, it's part of the Xbox, I guess you would say first party or whatever, Xbox published titles. It is a narrative focused thing where you're basically watching a show and then lightly inputting and making decisions that will impact things greatly. So that's kind of neat. I do want to pause here and mention that some games will release throughout the month that might be worth checking out. Cooking Simulator, 2 Point Campus, and Turbo Golf Racing. Pretty neat titles, particularly 2 Point Campus you might find interesting. The Ascent. This is a cyberpunk twin-stick shooter. It would be cool if the co-op worked, but it never really seemed to, but it's a neat game. Back 4 Blood is Left 4 Dead 3 and all, but the name is you work together as a squad to take on lots of zombie monsters along the way. It's actually quite enjoyable. Astroneer. Carve and make your mark in this really beautiful space exploration survival game. Assassin's Creed Origins. Go back to where it all began in this open world RPG focused take on Assassin's Creed that kickstarted Odyssey and then Valhalla. So Origins is just huge. It's Egypt. It's pretty cool. You got your Banjo-Kazooie. If people quite like Banjo, you might find it fun. Then we've got The Bard's Tale is kind of a neat series. It's a little funny, so you might like that. If you like fishing, Bassmaster. When it comes to, well, I guess we could say Batman Arkham Knight is pretty enjoyable. A lot of people like that one. You might find it to be interesting. Your Batman. I don't know if it's the strongest of the series, but, it's a Batman game. Then your Battlefields. We got lots of Battlefields. So 5, 1, and 4 are the most popular. It's still very well played. Hardline, you can find matches in. It's a cops and robbers kind of thing. And I like the Bad Companies for the story, so you might find that interesting. Battlefield 3, you could actually still find some servers in, which is interesting. But your best bet, again, is 4, 5, or 1 for lobbies. Battletoads. A really good in brawling, kind of mint and arcade game action take on Battletoads. It's kind of neat. Then we've got Besiege is kind of cool. You make a bunch of sieging weapons. Kind of neat. It's in game preview. Black is a classic shooter. Black Desert is a neat MMORPG experience where you get to just kind of do a ton of questing. They release a ton of content for it. It's actually really expansive. We've got Broken Age is actually a really neat adventure point-and-click game where you get 2 perspectives, great voice acting. Very, very good. Torvis, fly around in a spaceship doing crazy things. Still need to dive into that one. Burnout Paradise Remastered, Smash Cars, crazy action, very well loved. Bug Snacks, really good adventure story kind of game where things are creepy and mysterious, don't read into it. Jump in, grab and hunt creatures, and enjoy the insanity. Bug Fables is actually pretty well loved. It's a turn-based type thing, so you might find that interesting. Brutal Legend, it's kind of like a strategy, command troops with a little bit of rock and roll and Jack Black and hilarity. City Skylines, the successor to SimCity. Build a huge city, have a blast, it's a great time. Conan Exiles is like Ark, open world, but it's Conan a little bit brutal. Contrast is a little bit Bioshock-esque vibing, but pretty short story, but it's an emotional one. It's kind of a neat game. Crackdown 3, you go blow some stuff up by yourself or with a co-op partner. It's pretty decent. Crusader Kings 3. This one is insanely dynamic with lineage and crazy things as you build empires. It's wild, it's in-depth, very, very good. Crossfire X, it's a fairly typical generic sort of shooter campaign. Crimson Skies is a pretty classic dogfighting game, pretty cool, fly planes, blow stuff up, it's neat. Craftopia is kind of a little bit Zelda-esque, but with a focus on like survival elements and crafting stuff. It's kind of neat. If you've never played the Danganronpa series, if you want to get more of that kind of stuff on Xbox, be sure to check it out. It's a bit weird. Dante's Inferno, kind of like the old God of War games. If you're on the Series XS, you get 60 FPS, pretty cool. Day of the Tentacle Remastered, all-time classic point-and-click adventure type game. DayZ, open world survival game, multiplayer focused, zombies, but the real threat is the other people you come across. Dead by Daylight, asymmetrical multiplayer, a handful of survivors try to take on a killer, or while the killer takes on a handful of survivors. Lots of cool horror IP, really good. Dead Cells is an incredible roguelike experience. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's intense. Very, very good game. And then we have, lots of people love Death's Door, which is another like roguelite. Then you got your Dead Spaces. Keep in mind Dead Space 1 is being remade not too long from now. So maybe skip that for at this point and play 2 and 3, which is kind of good games. Deep Rock Galactic's actually a really fun dwarven cooperative mining game. Very distinct. Destroy All Humans. Get ready for the second one that's being remade soon with this remake. Great effort, great option. Then you got your Dirts. If you like Rally, play Rally 2.0. If you like more arcade type racing, Dirt 5 is phenomenal. You got your Dishonored games, all great. Primarily, Dishonored and Dishonored 2, so you get the full story. And then this is just, if you like the games, a little bit of an extra story. Disneyland Adventures, great for the kids. Roam around Disneyland doing like little missions and different mini games. Donut County is actually pretty fun. You go around and you become a bigger and bigger sinkhole as you eat things. A little bit weird. The Doom games. So if you want classic Dooms, Doom 3's phenomenal horror title. Everybody loves it. But the new Doom and then Doom Eternal are the modern take on the series. Very, very well loved. Very critically acclaimed. You got your Dragon Age games. They're all great. Lots of people love them. Inquisition is FPS boosted. Then you got your Dragon Quests. If you want to have a more Minecraft RPG game, Builders 2. If you want a more traditional JRPG, Dragon Quest, The Elusive Tale. Then we've got the classic Elder Scrolls titles. So Morrowind's a little dated. There's also Oblivion, which is later on the list. That one's great. Elder Scrolls Online is the MMORPG. It's phenomenal. It keeps getting a ton of content. Very, very good. We play it. We stream it all the time. It's really great. Skyrim, obviously one of the all-time classics. Optimized for next-gen. RPG game that seemingly never ends. Edge of Eternity is kind of a little Final Fantasy-esque. You could find this one to be neat. Ember, your firefighters. So that's kind of a neat little party firefighting game. Escape Academy is you're doing escape rooms alone or with another player. Very, very cool. Lots of fun. The Evil Within games, great horror titles, psychological horror, really messed up, first party, definitely worth checking out. Fables, they're all worth playing. Honestly, Fable 2 is considered the best, but they're all worth playing and very good. 2 and 3, you could do co-op. You got your Fallouts. Fallout 3, all-time classic. Fallout New Vegas, everybody loves it. Everybody considers it the best. I love Fallout 4. You get to do base building, modding. It's really cool on console. And Fallout 76, actually pretty good now. They've added story content. There's the Pit is coming as well. Worth checking out, worth playing at this point. Far Cry 5, it's actually my favorite Far Cry. Go to the heartland of the US as you deal with a cult. It's pretty cool, open world, crazy action. If you like farming, Farming Simulator 22, Feeding Frenzy, classic, eat the bigger fish or eat the smaller fish to become big enough to eat the bigger fish. So, nom nom nom. You got your FIFAs, Fight Night Champion, the last boxing Fight Night title from EA. It's classic. Pretty fun. Firewatch is a really neat mystery adventure type game. Don't read into it before playing it. It's a more calming, kind of spooky sort of thing. It's cool. You got your Final Fantasy 13s. I believe we lost one of these. So, oh no. We still have all three. So get working on them because eventually these are going to disappear. But we got 13, 13.2, and then there's Lightning Returns, which is the final one. There's a lot of gameplay in those. For Honor, if you want to do night combat, The Forgotten City is such a cool game. It's got like the gameplay of Skyrim, but it's not combat focused. You are trying to do social deduction to figure out who's breaking the golden rule. Super good, super cool, highly recommend. You got your Forza Horizons, open world racing, amazing titles. That one is England, that one is Mexico. Then we've got Full Throttle Remastered, again, an all-time classic point-and-click adventure game, similar to Day of the Tentacle. You got your Gears of War games, so I suggest doing Gears of War Ultimate Edition, followed by 2, 3, 4, and then 5. If you like Barrett and Cole, you play Judgment. If you like turn-based combat like XCOM, you play Gears Tactics. Great series. Genesis Noir is a really artistic, weird, funky game. You might love it. Goat Sim. Go around and be a goat. It's crazy, you cause mayhem, it's messed up. Going Under is actually a decent roguelike kind of game. It's so-so. Golf with your friends, mini-golfing with other players and other people. It's pretty neat. The Good Life from Swery there, it's really weird, but for some people you might really like it. So, yeah. Hades, a very, very well-received, well-loved roguelike game. It's very difficult, but very aesthetically pleasing. The Gunk, if you're looking for a solid 3-4 hour kind of light adventure game with lots of sucking, the Gunk is the way to go. Grounded, great Honey, I Shrunk the Kids survival type game. It's fantastic, it's a blast, it's almost fully released. Grim Fandango Remastered, considered one of the greatest games of all time. It's a classic point-and-click adventure type game. It's amazing. Then we've got your Halos. So Halo MCC is always the one to go for. That gives you 1 to 4 plus 3 ODST plus Reach plus all the multiplayer combined together. It's all the Halo you need. If you're feeling more adventurous, jump into 5, which continues the story. And if you're feeling particularly adventurous, Infinite is the continuation after 5 Guardians. It's technically Halo 6, so you might like that. And then if you like RTS games, Halo Wars and Halo Wars 2, both very well done. Hellblade's Noah Sacrifice, ASMR the video game, throw on some headphones, have a blast. It's a great game that dives into deep psychological issues, and it's great. The sequel's coming out eventually. It's first party, definitely worth checking out. Hitman Trilogy, amazing stealth games, absolutely phenomenal. They're all upgraded, all ready for next gen. This is a perfect trilogy experience. Flip houses with House Flipper. It's silly, but it's enjoyable. Inside, if you liked Limbo, Inside is even more messed up and even weirder, and you're going to be like, huh? And you're going to have to Google things at the end of it. Crazy platforming game. Injustice 2, if you like Mortal Kombat but you want DC characters, Injustice is the way to go. Into the Pit is kind of like a magic shooter roguelite, and it's kind of neat. It Takes Two, you have to play it in co-op. That's the only way you can actually play it. A game of the year for last year. It is very good and a lot of fun cooperatively. If you want to run a park, Jurassic World Evolution 2, Just Cause, big explosions, open world, mayhem, pretty cool. Lake, bit of a casual exploration postal service game. Killer Instinct, combo breaker. It's the first party fighting game. Check it out, support it. It's got a great cast of characters. I want to see a sequel. Cameo, actually pretty good if you're on the Series X. It's like 4K 60. It's actually pretty neat. If you're a fan or your kids are a fan of Last Kids on Earth, this game was a few hour enjoyable little adventure. You want to mow lawns. Life is Strange True Colors, a standalone Life is Strange experience. It's actually a really good story. I highly recommend it. And this is Lightning Returns, so this is the last one of the... I believe, yeah, this should be the last one of the Final Fantasy 13 lineup. Just name-wise, it gets down here. Lost in Random's kind of neat. If you like the Alice in Wonderland game, you know, Alice Madness, this one is similar, but obviously a complete standalone experience. The Long Dark. I thought this one was Leaving. Survival in Canada. Interesting. Your Madden's Maneater, which is basically not Fusion Frenzy, Feeding Frenzy on steroids. It's a shark RPG where you just eat and get crazier. Marvel's Avengers, if you just play the single player, it's actually really good. Guardians of the Galaxy, kind of my pick as a top tier game of the year potential. It was phenomenal. It's a great story. It's very well done. I loved it. Play Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Ignore everything else. It includes the first 3 games, all upgraded. I feel like tennis, Matchpoint Tennis is okay. We've got Shadow of War, which is like Assassin's Creed, but enhanced, and Lord of the Rings like. Flight Simulator, one of the best games ever created. Fly the entire world. It's amazing. Minecraft Dungeons. If you like dungeon crawling, you like Diablo, but you want something a little bit more lighthearted, something more that the whole family can play, great. You got Minecraft. I think regular Minecraft is here too. So Minecraft preview program, and then regular Minecraft. Mirror's Edge and Mirror's Edge Catalyst, kind of neat parkour platforming type games. MLB The Show. You like baseball, this is the newest one. If you like Dark Souls, Mortal Shell is kind of more of an indie take on that. You might like it. Mortal Kombat, brutal fighting game. Mortal Kombat 11 is pretty great. Then we've got My Friend Peppa Pig. If your kid likes Peppa Pig, it's like literally being in an episode of the show. It's good for the younger audience. My Time at Portia, kind of Harvest Moon, kind of little Animal Crossing. It's a neat game. Myst, if you like puzzles, yeah. Naraka Blade Point is a melee-focused battle royale game. It's actually not bad. Kind of enjoyable long-term, I don't know, but not bad. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered is considered the best of the options. I think Need for Speed Heat's not too bad, but this one's really well loved if you want to do racing. You got your NBA games, 2K22. Neon Abyss, not a bad little roguelite. It's kind of a little bit different. Super Lucky's Tale is a 3D platformer, and it's delightfully charming. Then you got your NHL games, your Ninja Gaidens. It's a pretty good series, but Sigma kind of removes some of the the more mature content, so some people kind of don't like that element of it. So still pretty classic games. Oblivion, definitely worth checking out. It's really upgraded for Series X and S. It's a great game, great RPG. It's high fantasy. Octopath Traveler is an incredible looking throwback JRPG experience. It's nuts. No Man's Sky. If you want a survival game in space, No Man's Sky is the way to go. Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori the Will of the Wisps are a 2-part great platforming game. Very challenging, very hardcore, but really beautiful and intense stories. Pac-Man Museum. If you want to play all the old Pac-Man games, they're all there. Overcooked 2, a great cooperative kitchen cooking game. It's frustrating, it's intense, but it's great for 2 players. Or more, I think. Outriders. It's like Destiny, but really Destiny meets Gears of War. It's actually a pretty good story. You can play cooperatively with a few people. It's fun. And it had a new expansion that came out too, but that's not on Game Pass. Outer Wilds, very critically acclaimed. A lot of people love it. It's a mysterious end of the solar system kind of thing. The Outer Worlds, Fallout in Space RPG game. It doesn't take forever to play, which I love. It's a great, funny game. You got your Paw Patrols for the kids. You got your Pagels, which are kind of little classic, fun little things. Pillars of Eternity. So this is also first party. If you want to get ready for Avowed, while very different types of games, this is the same universe. You got your Perfect Darks. First Perfect Dark, considered one of the best shooters ever. It's a great series. If you want to prepare for the new Perfect Dark, it's a good time to get, refreshed. A Plague Tale, you still have time to play the first Plague Tale before the second one comes out and debuts on Game Pass. A great story-focused game with tons of rats. You got your Plants vs. Zombies. Neighborville's the newest one, but I think a lot of people still play Garden Warfare 2. It's still well-loved. It's basically Battlefield for the kids. Your Psychonauts games. I would say just play Psychonauts 2. If you really like Psychonauts 2, go back and play Psychonauts 1. But Psychonauts 2 is a phenomenal 3D platformer. Very, very good game. Highly recommend. Prey. It's a bit of a psychological horror type adventure type title. First party. Very good. Power Wash Simulator. It may sound silly, but power washing is so relaxing. Or you can take pictures of puppies with paparazzi. And then you've got Quake Remastered, which is a super great classic shooter that runs so good, looks so good, and is so fun to play. Quantum Break. If you liked Alan Wake, or you want a good sort of story-focused thing where you can kind of change the story a bit, I do highly recommend Quantum Break. You got your rages, kind of, semi-open world, then full open world, punk shooters. It's quite neat. Then we've got Research and Destroy was kind of a neat turn-based, like a live turn-based kind of thing. It's quirky and weird. Recore, which is a color matching shooter with a terrible weird dungeon at the end, but it's actually a pretty cool game. I would have loved to see more from Jewel and her robots. It's first party. So check it out, and then hopefully someday we get a sequel, but I doubt it. Rare Replay, classic Rare games. A lot of them are available standalone on Game Pass too. Road 96 is a really neat, narrative-driven, choice-driven randomness road trip to try to get out of a country. It's crazy. Rush is another good one for the kids. Rise Son of Rome, if you ever wanted to be a Roman centurion. It's actually a pretty cool story, and the multiplayer gladiating is pretty fun too. Second Extinction, shoot some dinos. I haven't played that one in a while though, so I don't know what state it's in at this point. Sea of Thieves, live the pirate life with others in multiplayer. It's a blast, keeps getting updated. It's a big title. Scarlet Nexus, JRPG, 2 perspectives, a neat design, and a pretty cool concept. Secret Neighbor is like basically Dead by Daylight, but for the kids. So asymmetrical multiplayer as you take on the neighbor going after everybody. Serious Sam 4, it's a wild, doesn't take itself serious kind of throwback sort of shooter. It's not amazing, but it's pretty cool. The Shadowrun series, turn-based Shadowrun action, pretty cool RPG games. I do recommend taking a look at them. Shredders, it's kind of an indie skate or snowboarding game. It's not too bad. Skatebird is actually like a really adorable, casual skateboarding game where you play as a bird, and then you got your skates if you like more hardcore skateboarding. The Sims 4, live a better life than the life you live with The Sims. Slime Rancher, an adorable farming game where you farm slimes. It's amazing. Get ready for the sequel that's coming out. Well worth playing. Your Sniper Elite games, both good, both standalone essentially, so you can play either of the stories and have fun. Sniper Elite 5 multiplayer will be alive because it's newer and it's a blast. Then we've got Jedi Fallen Order. Get ready for the sequel. It's a story-focused, Dark Souls-esque Star Wars game. Your State of Decays. Both games worth playing. State of Decay 2, pretty good, well-supported. Prepare for State of Decay 3. These are zombie survival management games. Stardew Valley. It's like a new version of Harvest Moon, and it's phenomenal. If you like dogfighting, but with space ships, or well, the Star Wars ships, the TIE Fighters, the X-Wings, Squadrons. Battlefront 2, still great, good campaign, intense multiplayer that's still active, well worth playing. Stellaris, if you like Civilization, do it in space. Subnauticas, good standalone open world water, under the water survival games, kinda neat. Sunset Overdrive, it's a blast, it's crazy, it's wacky, it's hilarious, it's first party, check it out. Great game. Definitely stand out from the Xbox One library. It's awesome. Another baseball alternative, if you want to do like custom game tweaking, this is a pretty good one. Shredder's Revenge, a successor to Turtles in Time. It is amazing. A near perfect brawler beat-em-up game. Highly recommend. This War of Mine, kind of a grim, dark look at war. It's kind of profound and very interesting. If you like hunting, The Hunter, The Call of the Wild is the way to go. If you like Tetris, or even kind of minutes of Tetris Effect is incredible. Terraria, it's like 2D Minecraft with bosses and stuff. People love it. Tell Me Why, if you like Life is Strange, this might be an interesting sort of story-focused thing for you. Titanfall 2, great shooter, the story's really, really good. I don't know if the multiplayer works at this point. I can never seem to get it to function properly. Rainbow Six Siege, intense multiplayer-focused combat, very well loved. Wildlands just dropped, a cooperative-focused, open-world, story-focused shooting and tactical play game. If you like Rainbow Six Siege, you might find Extraction to be a fun cooperative take against monsters. I don't know how lively it is at this point, though. Then we've got Tropico 6, want to be a dictator? Go nuts. 2 Point Hospital, run a hospital, but with a quirky style to it. If you like the UFC, UFC 4 is your way to go. The Unravel games are adorable, but pretty hardcore platforming games, very good. Unpacking, a light, easygoing puzzle experience where you are packing and unpacking your life, or a life. Then we've got Viva Pinata. I would suggest Trouble in Paradise, run a garden, have a blast, it's a good game. Then you got your Walking Dead games. So you want to do, these are great story-driven, choice-driven games. So you got The Walking Dead 1, 2, A New Frontier, and then you'd have to buy the final season. The Michonne is like, if you want more, but it's so-so. Wasteland games. Wasteland 3 is incredible. Wasteland Remastered and Wasteland 2 are kind of very interesting titles, but 3 is really, really good. Watch Dogs 2. Open world, a little hipster-esque, but, you do work through the city, hacking, building up a group. It's pretty neat. It's FPS boosted, so that's fun. A Way Out, Break Out of Jail, a must-play in terms of you must play it in co-op, kind of like It Takes Two. So that's interesting. We Happy Few. It is a story-driven, kind of Bioshock-esque. Everything's gone bad. It's actually really good and very interesting. Weird West is a really neat throwback sort of story-focused kind of RPG-like. It's very interesting. Very, very neat. You got your Wolfensteins. So you play these... the Old Blood is a prequel to the New Order, but it might make more sense to do the New Order, then go back to the Old Blood, then play Wolfie 2, and then play Youngblood, because Youngblood comes after Wolfie 2. And Youngblood's not as bad as people say. I actually like it. World War Z, Left 4 Dead, but more dense and lots of zombies to take on. Worms WMD, a classic turn-based, smashing worms crazy game. It's wild, it's nuts, it's actually pretty good. Wreckfest. Smash cars, break cars, watch vehicles just explode. Very, very well done. And your Yakuzas. We got all the Yakuza games back. So you can play 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then Like a Dragon is a spin-off. They're great games. They're going to take you 20 plus hours each. They are phenomenal. They're all great. Kiwami 2 is my favorite, and I hope we get Judgment soon, because Judgment's really cool, and it's a spin-off of this series. And in Zombie Army 4, it's like Sniper Elite, but like Left 4 Dead-esque. Very good. Definitely recommend. Great co-op. A lot of fun. Check it out. And Zoo Tycoon Ultimate Animal Collection. Run a zoo. It's not too bad. Really good for all ages. So there you go. That's all of the Xbox Game Pass suggestions. There's a lot of good stuff on here. Again, liking the video is great. Subscribing is great as well. If you're buying Game Pass or grabbing it, use the affiliate link in the video description. And I'll be back again in a couple months in order to showcase the library all over again with what's changed. And we also do a monthly 10 suggestions list for Game Pass, so you might find that to be helpful as well if you're looking for something new to play.